Hi everyone, welcome back to Anita's Joint, hashtag Extendajoint, Everydae is Paydae, baby. This is the recap for Chicago Red Stars and Kansas City Current. Now this match happened yesterday, it ended up being 2-2 at the end of the day. This was the second match coming back from Champions League, from international break for the ladies, and so I was saying, we can't say, the ladies are back or this is the second match. So everyone had their little rest. Some of them didn't play in the first game or just played maybe 30 minutes. This is the ladies' actual full next game back. And we watched Bay FC and Chicago Red Stars the last weekend, and we saw Chicago, kind of struggle. And of course, Kansas City they won last week and they went on top of the table. And the match started off with Swanson getting the early goal. It was an assist from Hutton. It was an assist from Griffith. And like I said, I recorded this twice on my other mobile, but unfortunately, we ran into technical difficulties, so we're back in the morning. But anyway, like I said, Swanson, she ended up getting the 6-minute goal. And let me tell you something. Swanson, before she got injured, she was the best player. And when she came back, she ended up, Emma started her. And under the Emma Hayes era, Swanson was the best player, I would say, on the field for USA, the first match against South Korea. And so I'm not surprised that she is still great. I just think now Chicago really going to have to find some more pieces around this team because they did lose some big pieces like Kruger, Nakasato, just in general, players that have been playing the league. I'm not saying Chicago has a lot of rookies on the team, which they don't. I just think if they want to challenge for that front three and to potentially get into a Champions Cup position, and then also if they say that the Champions Cup is going to be a qualification process to the FIFA Club World Cup for the ladies, so Chicago are going to have to add some pieces to help Swanson and the Chicago team build. But anyway, Swanson got the first goal in the 6th minute, and it was so funny. We had a +10 additional time in the first half, and I would say, because there's some weird thing that the Chicago government has with extra stoppage time. It's like, okay, so now are we just being geared up to expect something to happen, expecting a delay to happen? Also, if they just want to make the football games longer, that's something they can also tell us as well. Just, y'all want to make the football games longer. You don't really got to, have weird stoppage time. Just say, hey, we want to make the football game longer. The ladies are already playing. Like I said, the ladies played 60 minutes in the first half because of the stoppage time. And I was just like, of course they had water breaks, but I'm just like, I think they just want to make the football games longer nowadays. That's what I'm going with. And that's just what I'm going with. They want to make the football games longer. This is why we're having a ridiculous amount of extra time. And I'm just going to end that discussion. So coming back out of the locker room in the second half, Bia was very quiet. And the Bia actually started this game as well. So I was like, well, where the Brazilian connection? Where is that? We ain't see it in the first half. Of course, Tariga was doing her thing. She was mainly their main focal point for Kansas in the beginning. Cooper also as well. She was having to track back and defend Swanson in the first half, so that was kind of not ideal for Kansas in a way because she's one of the players, a young player that has the ability, based upon what I've seen, she has the ability to consistently have good crosses into the box, and I'm happy she's getting a lot of time under Kansas, and I think this is a good club for her as a young person around some really, really good players, Cooper. But in the second half, we had a goal off a corner kick from Bia. It was her 5th goal this season. This was a corner kick where it said, Alyssa Nair, what happened? It looked like it happened. Nair had to punch over her teammates in a way because two of her teammates had collided in to, of course, to try to defend the ball. And then what's her name? Bia, 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 listener, she ended up having to parry it and kind of drop down. And Dia, all Dia did was, we saw her in the replay pretty much just turn her body around to get in a position to strike the ball. And when she did, it was perfect because it was in the back of the net. And similar to Swanson's goal was so lethal. French had like her leg out and then her arm out, and the ball went right underneath her arm and in between her leg. Like in between her arm and her leg. And it was a really good finish. Like it's unfortunately just it wasn't saved. Similar to Bia's goal, her goal was not gonna be saved. It was quite spectacular, not gonna lie. And that was the 51st minute. And then 6 minutes later, we have another goal, Chai-Wing. And I was like, oh, yo, it's over. They turned it up because they scored so quickly. I'm like, yeah, y'all scoring the 51st minute. A couple minutes later, y'all scoring the 57th minute. And there we go. Kansas were on top, and this was Chai-Wing's 8th goal. Now her goal was quite interesting too, because shout out to Hutton, man, that in the midfield she gave, I wish I know what girl she gave a shove. She gave her a little bump in the midfield to this girl, to this goal. Oh shit. To this girl, and all of a sudden this bump ended up dispossessing Chicago in their half, and we had the Binya ended up getting the ball to Chai-Wing, and Chai-Wing took a couple space. Well, I don't think she took that many touches, but she took at least one to get herself free. And then listen there, all she knew, the ball was in the back of the net, because Chai-Wing's shot is so powerful. It didn't even move. It was just like a boom, like a bullet, like shoot past in the back of the goal. Past there, she couldn't stop both those goals because she couldn't even save them, because they were already back in the net before she even looked. And I was like, damn. And I really thought Kansas was going to pull out the dub. They're playing at home, and they're on top of the table, so they're really playing real well. But they didn't close Chicago out like they needed to, and so we got a corner kick in the 80-something minute, 89th minute. Swanson ended up taking the corner for Chicago, and guess who it was? It was Sam Stab. She got a header onto the goal. It was a really good header as well, and this was the equalizer. And this shaved Chicago, and they earned a point. And I'm thinking, does Sam Stab, she got her first caps under Emma, will she be able to make this roster? And I was saying, like, of course we know it's 18 players plus the 4 reserves, so we're going to see if this goal for Sam is going to help get some good currency for her. Anyways, I want to say it was okay match. It was an okay match. We got a lot of matches today as well. The USL Super League, is another professional women's league that is coming to America. If you didn't know, if you're living under a rock, the USL Women's Super League, and they are now. We saw that they are going to have a streaming deal with NBC Universal and Peacock. So I think this is amazing. They're going to have like 115 matches, and there's about how many teams? Well, apparently NBC Universal and Peacock are going to be showcasing a lot more of the USL leagues and W's leagues, so it should be interesting. A lot more access for, I live in America, so that's great for someone that lives in America to be able to have access to this new league in America. And like I said, America's the leading ladies and the pioneers of football, just because they have the resources more than other countries, and they're the first ones to technically have them as much. They're the first ones to have this much success. And so here's my challenge. Because the USL League will be coming and introduced to the league this year, I want to know, NWSL already has to help them out. So I expect to see NWSL, USL matchups either this year or next year. And then I'm going to take a step further. What leagues, Liga MX, the French League, the Mexican League, the French League, the Spanish League, the German League, the English League. I want to see what leagues come and help this other league get off the table. Because honestly, having another league, a professional league for the women's game, no matter where it is geographically, is amazing. And that's the same thing I want to see with Canada. Canada are going to have a league. I want to see what teams are going to be able to help this league get off the ground, because they're going to have good currency when you bring a big name club that's already known to a team, to a league, to help the ladies grow. You know, it's a very, very important. Very important. All right, welcome back. This is the part 2 or extended of Kansas City Current versus Chicago Red Stars. Like I said, the match ended 2-2 with a late goal from Sam Stapp. But what I was talking about was, once again, the USL Women's Super League. Like I said, this is another top flight division that is being introduced to America and to the world this year. And they have 8 teams, and they're going to be expanding more. This is a top flight professional league. And it was so funny because prior, they were going for Division 2 status, and they were like, you know what? Let's see if we can get all the requirements met to be known and credited as a professional women's league. And it just shows you, I mean, the growth of the game in America, that they have the ability to say, hey, we have enough to have 2 professional women's leagues. And what I think at the end of the day, what may happen is we just have a bigger league. We have NWSL and USL end up creating one league together. At the end of the day, I mean, I could see that in the future. We'll see though, because in a way, that's what I think that could happen. They can just join the 2 leagues together. But like I said, I really hope NWSL has already kind of been promoting them on their social media pages as well, because I mean, in a way, the USL League will be looking up to the NWSLs, like what they did right and what they did wrong. And thankfully, NWSL and the other leagues that have came before the NWSL were all stepping stones and ins and outs on what they can be better at and how they can actually do better for the ladies, because they're a new league, and so they won't have any of this drama. They'll know, look, it's the age of Aquarius, so I hope these owners and everyone don't have skeletons in the closet, because it will be exposed. It will be exposed. Everything will come to light, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully we don't have none of that treachery that we had during the purge of the NWSL back in those days. But it's about helping the league get off the ground. The fact that they have Peacock and NBC Universal as their streaming platforms just shows, you know, hey, Peacock's like, hey, we want to be invested into women's football as well. And NWSL has, of course, all the high-profile American players. USL, we want to know. I know they signed some NWSL players, but I really want to know who will be the first big-name player, high-profile. And high profile meaning maybe you won a World Cup, maybe you won a gold medal, and other things, Champions League, something. And I want to know who's going to end up going to that team, because it only takes 1 or 2 players to start the ripple to get some of those ladies over there at the USL League. Now, some of the markets, based upon geographically, some of the ladies may or may not want to live over there, but you're able to choose in that way. Like I said, there's a lot of teams. There's a team in Dallas. There's more teams to look at to actually see what type of quality that they have on the field. And like I said, with NWSL and USL being here soon, going to be officially in August when they start to play. Yes, hopefully we get some tournaments, or not even tournaments, we get some friendlies between these 2 leagues, because that's going to help exposure of the game. And then, like I was saying, we have another league coming. The Canadians, I think it was Diana Matheson, we were looking into, she and her other team have helped create Project 8, aka now the Northern Women's Super League. So that will be Canada's league. It's going to have 6 clubs, and hopefully they're able to add more. But they're in Canada, so I'm really happy for the Canadian folks, for y'all to be able to get a league. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what teams or even what ladies make their way back home to Canada to be one of the foundational pieces of this new Canadian league. Because we have some pretty high profile Canadians that play in the USL. You know what I'm saying? So now everyone's gonna like look. It makes you wonder. It's like, you know, will someone or will some of these ladies take risks and going back to, you know, Canada and helping this league get off the ground? I think Canada will need help because, I mean, they're out there. You know, they're out there. You know, it's not America. They're out there, and there's only 6 teams, so it's going to be very, very interesting how this works out. But I hope Canada get a lot of support, aka the leagues support this new league, and that is teamwork. Make the dream work. When we have the different leagues in all the countries, if you have the means, if you have the resources to come help these teams. I don't care if you whoop them. Who cares if y'all come over here like, hey, we're going to play this team. Y'all spank them. It doesn't matter. It's still good currency. It don't matter. Hopefully it won't be a spanking because they'll be very, very competitive football. But we won't know until we're able to see it. And then we won't really know until we see them play in bigger clubs. That will be like, if they beat, say Canada, say the USL, we're going to talk USL. Say the USL, one of the USL teams, they come and spank spank the whole team, all the teams in their new league. Well, they were like, damn, y'all are better than everyone in this league. So now we need to see you play another league team to actually get the weight of how great you are. This is the competition and comparison that we, as the observer, will eventually have to see. Because it only makes sense. And of course, we're gonna see what teams. It's gonna be very interesting because it is chess, y'all. This is chess, not checkers. So I want to see who's gonna be making this move first. Because I don't think there's a risk in going to play new clubs from a new league, and you're a club that has been around for a while. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think honestly it shows that, hey, we want to help you and we support this league, and we want to show everyone that, hey, this team, our team, we want to support our team. We help other teams. We help other leagues get off the ground. We help other teams showcase their talent, not only at our home stadium, but we'll go to their home stadium as well. And then, like I said, when you have these new leagues, some of the teams that do end up, high-profile teams that do end up coming to play in front of their home crowd, you gain new supporters, you gain a new audience of football. Because some of the USL teams, I think a lot of the people are aware of most of the teams, but some of the fans that are not as big fans as we are when it comes to football or supporting, we follow the game a lot, they may not know some of these players. So the exposure of some of these other European, some of these other South American teams, leagues, it gives them exposure to their teams, because you never know what lady might end up on your club, you know. And you never know, like, when these teams come and visit, they may end up scouting the girl that they played against. She may end up getting a contract. They may end up, you know what I'm saying, she may end up coming to the opposite team a year or two because they enjoyed watching her play and they enjoyed how she, you know. So it's great opportunities. There's ample of opportunities for the clubs that are already established, for the leagues that are already established, to help these new leagues get off the ground. Because if they're the first ones to do it, they got the best currency. I'm just saying, if you're the first club to have a match with these new clubs, these new leagues, you got the best currency because you were the first. Nobody likes the first nigga. Like, no one likes that. But at the end of the day, you didn't want to do it first. Don't get mad at the person that decided to do it first. You didn't want to do it first. Do it first then. And it's because some people don't like to be made fool. And at the end of the day, just don't take yourself that seriously. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do it first, because then you're just helping everybody else behind you. Look, everyone's going to know. Oh, Anita did it first. Real shit. But anyways, y'all, I'm really happy for the USL Women's Super League. I'm really happy for the Northern Super League. You know, they got similar names, but it doesn't really matter. The women's game is continuing to grow here in America, here abroad in Canada. And, I mean, that's all up. That's all. We give credit ourselves for tuning in, because we're the currency at the end of the day. And, of course, the football game is the biggest game in the world. So the ladies are in a way, I'm not surprised. It's growing. I mean, it only makes sense. It only makes sense. It's the world's game. Anyways, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. It's your girl Anita flying high, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, deuces.